Hi guys, how are you doing? So I am looking forward to reading your papers when I get back, and you should just be finishing up those. And so today I'm just going to give you a quick overview of Unit 2. Okay, so we're moving out of the paper section into the proposal section, and you'll be completing the proposal and the final project in groups. To access your working groups, go ahead and go to Canvas, click on People, and then once you're in People, you can click on Groups, Proposals, and Client Deliverables, and then from there, use the search field to search for your name, and you can find the group that you're in. If you have any questions about the group that you're in, let your substitute instructor know, and they'll try and help you or get a hold of me. Okay, so just remember that so for the second project, we are going to propose a series of deliverables in response to needs expressed by our clients, the Greening Youth Foundation, or Groundwork Atlanta. Let's see. The morning class, the 9:30 CS6, you guys are Greening Youth Foundation, and then my afternoon class, CS1, you guys are the 12:30 class, or Groundwork Atlanta. And the goal of the proposal is to provide a guide and outline for the longer project, identify appropriate means of persuasion, and to understand the necessary parts of a standard proposal. So this is a solicited proposal. So we're going to be writing a solicited proposal is written in response to an RFP when an organization turns to an outside vendor, consultant, or researcher to address a problem. It issues an RFP that identifies all the specifications the proposal must fulfill in order to be accepted. The acceptance of a proposal means the award of a contract or financial grant. So for us, not quite like these RFPs. So if you want to see what RFPs look like, you can go to the Army Corps of Engineers or the National Endowment for the Humanities. Here we can look at the National Endowment for Humanities. So the NEH seeks proposals for national convenings on the state of American history and civics education, right? So this call for proposals asks for all of the specific pieces of the request, leading to a $650,000 cooperative agreement plan. For us, however, we will, in consultation with our partners, they'll issue the request for proposal that we will fulfill. So next, or not next Monday, not next Monday, but the Monday after, the 4th, CS1, you guys at the 12:30. We'll meet with Heather Hussey-Coker from Groundwork Atlanta, and then the 9:30 class is going to meet with Ebony Preston from Greening Youth Foundation, and then through our conversation with them, they will give us the request for the proposal, and then our proposals will establish our response to both their needs, right, which will be newsletters, websites, social media, maybe some sort of e-tool, and you will then write up your proposal over the course of this unit. Oops. According to this standard layout and template for in industry, government, and NGOs. So all of the proposals will have a title page, a table of contents, a one-page project summary, and then starting with the project description, which is sometimes called the project narrative. This section will be 5 pages long. So you're going to have a section on objects and significance where you explain the problem. So it's going to be both the problem that the client outlines, maybe their calendar isn't reaching enough of their users, but then also a theoretical problem. So both of our partners work at the intersection of like social justice and environment. So you're going to explain your overall approach and its value, what are the main challenges or goals, why are they important, etc. So objectives and significance is usually like 2 pages, and then background and need, you're going to contextualize your work by citing relevant literature, and explaining the ways the work that you propose is going to fit in this broader background. You're going to provide a project plan where you describe your activities, methods, and rationale. What will you do? What's your approach? How's it appropriate? And then finally, the intellectual merit and broader impact. So that's sort of like the conclusion to this first 5 pages. Okay, then you're going to provide a project plan of work. So it has two sections, an explanation of the approach and the specific work schedule. In a page or on its own page, you'll explain the technology that you're going to use in the deliverables that you propose for the client. And then finally, here we are, we see the biographical sketches and resumes are going to make us another appearance. So you'll provide your bio, you can revise the bios you already wrote, and then just a 1-page resume. And then at the very end, references section. Everything is 1-inch margins, 12-point font, Times New Roman, headings at the level of heading 1 and heading 2. Include as many table figures and bulleted lists as you feel are necessary, and then everything is going to be in APA. For some sample proposals, you can click here. These are also listed in the, on the calendar. So, if you want to just walk through some of these in your group while you are getting ready for starting to draft and prepare, you're welcome, and I'll have some more examples when I come back. Okay, so getting started, start by reviewing the client web presence and identify need. So what's your assessment of your client's business or foundation website? Who's their audience? What's the foundation's organizational mission? Are events clearly listed? What's your assessment of the organization or foundation's social media presence? So what social media platforms do your partner organizations publish on? Could they be taking greater advantage of different or more platforms? Could they be doing something differently to incorporate or attract more users, more different users? Both of our partners work at the intersection of conservation and racial justice, and what can your group do to contribute to messaging around these topics, right? So you're going to be delivering in this proposal both explanations of like the specific work product that the client's going to ask you for, as well as this theoretical frame. So as you work with your group to select your topic, right? So everybody's going to be working both on the specific deliverables, but then, topics within environmental, social justice, or sustainability to frame out those specific deliverables. Think about how these ideas, so environmental, social justice, or sustainability related issues, will be better served if the general public had a better understanding of that constellation of problems and solutions. Okay, so here is just an example of a recent story that suggests how educational intervention might work to address false assumptions about human impact on the planet. So even though we all spend a terrific amount of time recycling, you know, this study, among others, shows that big oil misled the public into believing plastic would be recycled. When you consider selecting a topic for your proposal, think about what is it going to take to convince an audience or institution that recycling or any topic, right, is mostly performative, right? So here, recycling is this activity that kind of inspires a collective action, and yet it is largely performative insofar as a lot of our plastics are wind up in landfills, regardless of where we throw them away. And so if your mode of address is pedagogical, what do you have to do to convince an audience that this idea that they participated in is largely performative so that you can suggest an alternative? In your proposal and in your project, you're going to produce, you have to clearly state your objectives and significance, be explicit about the problem, its importance, and your overall approach. So, for example, remember that the myth that materials we consume are neatly recycled and redistributed runs deep. It's not just the big oil companies that promote the false sense of security that comes from assuming an endless chain of reuse. The problem is both material and also one of language or communication. So, moving into your proposal and the work product that you're going to produce for the client, what sorts of myths or assumptions are built into audiences' understanding around race in the environment? How do you have to tackle those audience perceptions before you can communicate your goal? Okay, so you can, so again, background and need, you're going to cite relevant literature, not unlike the essays that you just wrote, right? The project plan, you're going to describe methods, rationale, etc. And then the intellectual merit is going to explicitly address the project's broader potential to advance knowledge. Okay. So if you would, this week, there's no discussion board. If you would just get in touch with your group members and figure out how best to communicate with one another going forward. Also below here, you can find videos describing, in general, the different components of a proposal. And so lastly, if you just look here, so your papers are due the 27th, and then on Monday, I'll do the first of 2 workshops on accessible design. And then for next Wednesday, we'll do a deep dive into our foundations so that we can be prepared to talk with them on the 4th. And I will be back on the 4th. We're going to talk to our clients remotely. And then your final proposals are due on the 25th. So we'll have this whole unit to work through them. So, all right, guys, thanks so much. If you have any questions, let your substitute know.